Wasteland Commander. Chapter 21. It's so cool. After Luo Fei ascended to the star, soldiers were mobilized one after another to begin to ascend to the star. Whether it is Wang Hu, Li Biao, or the new recruits, they are not far away from rising to the star. As the battle progresses, more and more people begin to successfully rise to the star. The number of zombies below has dropped to only half. It seems that this defensive battle will be successful. The crisis happened at this time. The mutated zombies rushed to the door. Luo Fei and Su Haoran each knocked down one, but the largest giant zombie and the other two quasi-giant zombies still rushed in front of the minibus. Luo Fei and two conscripts opened fire at the giant zombie at the same time. The bullets hit the giant zombie with a clanging sound. Although there were traces of blood, they could not cause fatal damage. Even the bullet from the bio gun hit its forehead, but it couldn't penetrate its brain. This is an armored zombie. Yi Fan gave this kind of zombie a name. The cuticle on the outside of this thing is simply tougher than an iron plate. The armored zombies attracted firepower, and the zombies behind them immediately swarmed in and crowded in front of the hotel. With no way out, the armored zombie waved its two big claws and began to push the minibus. The powerful claws directly penetrated the body of the CMB, almost tearing the CMB from the middle. No. We can't let them destroy the minibus. If this car hadn't blocked the door, they could have rushed upstairs. Su Haoran immediately took out the grenade from his waist, pulled the ring and threw it down. A fireball exploded inside the group of corpses. The armored zombie was located in the center of the grenade and was knocked down by the blast airflow. Broken glass was flying in the sky, and Yi Fan hurriedly lowered his head to avoid it. When the smoke and dust dissipated, a lot of zombie corpses were left around, with broken limbs and arms. But the armored zombie at the center of the explosion stood up staggeringly. There are many broken and bleeding places on the body, but this kind of damage is ineffective against zombies. As long as its brain is not penetrated, it can still crawl even if only half of its body is left. Sir, grenades are not particularly effective against zombies. The armored zombie's protection is too high. Unless you have a large caliber sniper weapon, it will be difficult to kill it. Yi Fan nodded, feeling a little anxious. Is there no way to kill this thing? There is also a way, that is to continue to use mining vehicles. Whether it is using anti-aircraft machine guns or armor-piercing incendiary bombs, it should be able to kill it. However, there are too many abandoned cars here, the accuracy of anti-aircraft machine guns is not guaranteed, and armor-piercing incendiary bombs are too lethal. Direct bombardment may cause explosions of surrounding cars, unless we are given some time to clean up the cars here. Well, you and Li Biao will drive to clean up immediately and act as soon as possible. We can support you here, clear. Su Haoran immediately called to Li Biao, and the two jumped out of the window, jumped onto the mining truck, opened the lid from the raised part and got in. The two of them went to clean up the site, but Mark was a little anxious. At the beginning, we were not well prepared. We should have cleaned up the nearby abandoned vehicles before taking action, but now we are in crisis. The top priority is to block the armored zombies from the door. If zombies rush upstairs, although they will not be completely wiped out, casualties are inevitable. What should I do? The minibus can't last long. Yi Fan suddenly thought of something. Why did I forget this thing? He hurriedly opened the red alert page. There are 4 options on the red alert page, namely main building, defensive building, soldier unit and mechanical unit. There is a wall inside his defensive building. In the red alert game, the wall can block the breakthrough of soldier units. No matter how many soldiers there are, it is impossible to break through the wall. Only tanks can break through the wall. If you build a wall at the door, I believe blocking the zombies will not be a problem. After clicking on the wall, Yi Fan was stunned for a moment. Because after clicking on the fence, there are 3 types, fence number 1, fence number 2, and fence number 3. He saw one type when he was playing a game before, and he was a little confused about it. He immediately said to Nana, "Nana, what is the difference between these 3 walls? Please introduce it to me as quickly as possible." "Sir, the number 1 fence is 3.5 meters high and half a meter thick. It is a reinforced concrete structure. Barbed wire can be installed on it, but soldiers cannot climb on the fence for sniping. The cost per meter of length is 20 gold. Each meter of additional barbed wire adds 5 gold. The second wall is 5 meters high and 1.5 meters wide. Soldiers can climb on the wall to snipe. The cost per meter of length is 100 gold. Wall number 3 is 10 meters high and 3 meters wide. It has crenellations. Soldiers can climb on the wall to snipe. It costs 500 gold per meter of length. No need to explain any more, Yifan already understood. It turned out that the wall had also been upgraded with the system. The 3 types of fences should be able to cope with different situations, especially the number 3 fence, which is 10 meters high and 3 meters wide, with an overall reinforced concrete structure. Not to mention zombies, I am afraid that tanks cannot penetrate it. If a base is established, such a wall will be the greatest protection for the lives of the survivors. Of course Yifan doesn't need the number 2 or number 3 fence now. The number 1 fence is enough. Despite the menace of the armored zombies, the 3.5 meter high and half meter thick wall is absolutely impossible for them to break through. Looking at the door of the hotel on the first floor, it was about 2 meters wide. Produce a 2-meter fence immediately. Okay sir, do you need to install additional barbed wire? It's just that you don't have a physical power plant now, and the barbed wire cannot be energized to become a power grid. No need, just a wall. Please wait, it will take 25 seconds. Yifan said to Luo Fei beside him, come with me and cover me, while the others continue to snipe. He took Luo Fei and ran downstairs. When he arrived in front of the door on the first floor, Yifan saw that the minibus had been torn open. The armored zombies had already squeezed into the minibus. When they saw Yifan and Luo Fei through the glass on the other side of the car, they seemed to be going crazy. They roared from their mouths, waved their arms, and shattered the glass. Sir, be careful, they are coming. It was a lie that Yifan was not afraid. The ferocious faces of the armored zombies and the roars of the zombies around him made him nervous. He might become a big of a zombie. But he must stop the advance of the corpses and buy time for Su Haoran. Fire. Fight them off some. Luo Fei is a brave warrior. He stepped forward and Bai Bar started firing continuously. The drum rotated and the shells jumped out of the gun one by one. Da-da-da-da. This kind of firearm is difficult to kill armored zombies, but it can still be beaten back. The armored zombies are forced to be pushed back 2 meters. At this time, the walls within the system have been produced. Yifan gritted his teeth and rushed over. Luo Fei stepped back, leaving the space at the door to Yifan. Stimulated by the food, the armored zombie rushed forward again, moving quickly, tearing apart the other minibus with both claws, and was about to rush into the door. Yifan could even feel the air in the mouth of the armored zombie. He was less than half a meter away from the armored zombie at the moment. Ignore the immediate threat and act quickly. Open the defense page, click on the wall, and place it. Boom. A huge wall 2 meters long and more than 3 meters high appeared out of thin air, reaching directly from the first floor to the ceiling, poking holes in the ceiling. The noise of zombies outside seemed to be cut off for a moment. Yifan took a deep breath and could even hear the sound of armored zombies roaring and slapping the wall on the other side of the wall. He sat down against the wall, took off his hat, wiped the cold sweat from his head, and then took out his cordyceps from his pocket. Dang. Lighter ignited. A smoke ring blew out. It's so cool. Chapter 22, A Great Victory. With a wall blocking the door, the next battle will be much easier. Yifan's red police soldiers could easily kill ordinary zombies with single-shot shooting upstairs. Even those quasi-iron armored zombies couldn't resist the headshots of submachine guns and were killed one by the soldiers. Su Haoran finally knocked away some abandoned vehicles in front of the door, and the anti-aircraft machine gun began to show its power. 12 o'clock refresh is to refresh the ammunition of all red alert units. Mining vehicles are also red alert units. The ammunition of the anti-aircraft machine gun was restored to 2,000 rounds, and a new round of shooting began at the group of corpses. Swarms of zombies were knocked down like grass. Some got up and immediately faced a new round of bullets. The last remaining armored zombie was pushed to the corner by a series of bullets. Just as he was trying to get up, armor-piercing incendiary bombs were fired. This kind of grenade-like thing was originally used to deal with small tanks. Except that it cannot hit tanks, it is no problem even for infantry fighting vehicles. The cuticles on the armored zombies are still unable to withstand human technological weapons. The first incendiary bomb was not quite accurate, breaking one of the zombies' legs and exploding in the distance. But the armored zombies couldn't move, and the second incendiary bomb hit accurately. He didn't hit the head, but hit the body, which exploded directly. The blazing flames devoured the zombie's body. The armored zombie struggled twice and was finally reduced to ashes in the flames. After killing the armored zombies, the mining truck actually rose to star level. From no star status to 1-star status. Although the appearance has not changed much, the ammunition capacity has been increased to 3,000 rounds, and the armor-piercing incendiary bombs have also been increased to 4 rounds. This time there is basically no need for red alert soldiers, and mining trucks with full ammunition begin harvesting. When these 3,000 rounds of bullets fired more than 1,000 more, there were no zombies left standing around the hotel. Except for those who are dead, those who have lost their legs and cannot get up. Yi Fan immediately ordered the mining trucks to cease fire and let the soldiers go down to play with bayonets. If you don't have a rising star, give priority to assassination, and don't leave anyone alive. The soldiers were about to jump out of the window. Yi Fan was stunned for a moment before he remembered that the door was still blocked by a wall. Nana, my red alert building can be recycled, right? It's okay, sir, but it's half the cost. This is also very reasonable. If all the buildings are recycled at the original price, then the buildings can be manufactured at will. Yi Fan immediately ran downstairs and recovered the 2-meter wall for 20 gold. The wall that was still standing here just now disappeared, leaving only the devastation at the entrance of the hotel. The top of the wall has collapsed the ceiling of the first floor, and the house may be about to collapse as well. Go out. Yi Fan took everyone out of the small building. The next step is the most exciting star-raising moment. Everyone cooperates with each other to kill all the living zombies on the ground. After the last half-dead quasi-armored zombie was killed by Su Haoren, all combat units under Yi Fan collectively raised their stars once. Wang Hu has advanced to the highest stage of mobilization, 3 stars. 3-star conscripts carry 6 magazines and have 210 rounds of ammunition at their disposal per day. Li Biao and 3 other upper-class soldiers have also reached the corporal stage and can handle 150 rounds of bullets every day. 5 recruits were collectively promoted to upper-class soldiers and had 90 rounds of ammunition at their disposal every day. The 1-star army soldier Luo Fei has 180 rounds of ammunition, which shows the strength of the army soldiers on the frontal battlefield. After Su Haoren's star promotion, the ammunition capacity of the rifle is 120 rounds and the pistol has 18 rounds. The scouts do not have super firepower as their main purpose, and their role cannot be reflected at this time. The soldiers didn't seem to have changed much. Only Xiao Tian rose to stardom under Yi Fan's deliberate training, and his physique swelled again. He was about 1.3 meters tall when he squatted there. He looked like a dog king. To say that the only one who has not changed is the commander Yi Fan. But he doesn't care. Being strong under his subordinates means that he is strong. Next, collect supplies. Collect all the jewelry, gold and silver and give them to me. Move the corpses of the zombies together and burn them on fire. Don't attract other zombies to come over and devour them. That will catalyze the creation of new ones. Mutated zombies. Yi Fan also basically understood the situation of mutated zombies. Men will mutate into armored zombies, and women will mutate into agile zombies. Fortunately, we only encountered an armored person this time. Although the female agile zombie was quite strong, it was obviously not completely mutated. Otherwise, Su Haoren and Xiao Tian would not have succeeded so easily. But this battle also reminded Yi Fan that the zombies he will face in the future may become more and more ferocious. The armored zombies are not very easy to deal with. It seems that the construction of the radar should be completed as soon as possible, and then upgraded to the company commander as soon as possible to unlock other arms. Weapons without powerful power will not be enough to ensure safety in the last days. The soldiers began to follow Yi Fan's orders and collect the inheritance of each zombie. Only red alert soldiers can do this kind of work. Ordinary people may not be able to bear it psychologically when faced with those monsters. Sir, there is one alive here. Li Biao, who was collecting, made a sudden report. This battle was fought in full swing, but Yi Fan himself made no contribution other than building the wall. At least not a single zombie was killed, which made him feel very unhappy. Hearing that there was still one alive, Yi Fan immediately became interested. Can you still move? He was able to move, but he was pinned down by a big guy. There were no injuries. Okay, lift that big guy off and leave this to me. Yi Fan fiercely pulled out the 54 pistol, and several red police soldiers moved a quasi-iron armored zombie away. An old zombie crawled out from below, stood up shakily, and walked towards Yi Fan shivering. Zombies sway from side to side when walking. This may be because they had some problems with their legs and feet before death and were limping. About 20 meters away, Yi Fan raised his gun and fired in one shot. Other red police soldiers looked at Yi Fan's performance for them with admiration. Bang! The glass of a broken car in the distance was broken. Haha. I actually made a mistake sometimes. Yi Fan laughed and aimed and fired again. Just then, the zombie turned around again and shot out. A ball of blood exploded from the zombie's shoulder. Look, if you say hit me on the shoulder, hit me on the shoulder. The red alert soldiers nodded frequently. Dang 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 dang. The last bullet is left. Yi Fan felt that he might be too tired, and it was okay to hit fixed targets during military training. The main reason was that the pistol was not used at that time. The pistol was still not very smooth to use, and the zombie was always moving. These were all reasons. Forget it, let Xiao Tian bite him to death. This time, Yi Fan didn't want to aim anymore, and struck a chic pose, imitating the protagonist's appearance in the drama, and shot with just a flick of his hand. Bang! The zombie's head jerked back, and the shot hit him right between the eyebrows. The scarlet eyes quickly dimmed, and the zombie died on the spot. Yi Fan himself was stunned for a moment. This shouldn't be a scam, right? Is the only correct way to open a gun by shooting in a pretentious manner? While I was wondering, I suddenly felt someone's voice around me. Glancing around, I saw that Su Chang ran over to the house where the survivors were trapped and had already taken the people out. Besides Su Chang, there is a young woman in her early 20s, who is also the Xiaojiabu type. Both sisters have decent looks. There were nearly 20 people behind them, all of whom looked very weak. But at this moment, their eyes were shining when they looked at Yi Fan. This kind of admiration and gratitude, and the gaze of Gaoshan, really made Yi Fan a little unaccustomed. Just when he was about to turn around and say something, Li Biao came to Yi Fan with a lot of gold and silver jewelry. Sir, all the property has been taken, and there is no one left alive this time. The survivors who had just been a little excited and wanted to talk to Yi Fan suddenly stopped again. Thank you all for your recommendation votes. There is a third update today. Chapter 23, Getting Rich Suddenly. Li Biao brought a lot of jewelry. After all, Yi Fan and the others killed more than 800 zombies in this battle. There are very few old people and children here, and there are nearly 400 female zombies among them. This is next to the highway, and many of the people who can drive here are rich, and the jewelry they bring is also pretty good. A heavy package, it feels like 2 or 3 kilograms. As soon as the jewelry was purchased, Nana immediately asked whether to convert it into money. Convert all. Sir, the transformation is complete. Yi Fan took a look at the amount of money he had, and it reached an astonishing 3,120. The jewelry brought by this large group of zombies actually amounted to more than 2,000 gold. Great, more than half of the cost of building the radar has been paid. We only need 1,900 more gold to produce it. After doing this, he saw that the survivors were still staring at him, with both fear and hope. He did not immediately take care of the survivors, but said to the red alert soldiers, search every restaurant here immediately, bring me whatever you find, and kill anyone found alive. Understood, I promise to complete the task. The soldiers dispersed and continued to search for treasures for Yi Fan. He learned from Su Chang that all the survivors in the small fishing village ran out when the disaster broke out. Except for the 20 or so people on the second floor here, there were no survivors at all. The so-called living mouths are nothing more than zombies. The survivors around him were silent, and each of them looked at Yi Fan with fear in their eyes. Yi Fan turned his face indifferently and walked to the survivors with the still smoking 54 pistol. Luo Fei and Xiao Tian were following him, and Luo Fei's face was even more cruel. Xiao Tian stuck out his tongue, and there was still blood dripping from the dog's mouth, which was all from when he bit the zombie. Looking at the survivors, no one dared to look at Yi Fan. Yi Fan's last eyes fell on Su Chang and her sister. You look good. Su Chang was stunned for a moment, then slowly lowered his head. Yi Fan pointed his gun and said, "Pack your things, get in the car and wait for me. Don't think about escaping, otherwise those zombies will be your fate." At this time, gunshots were heard from some surrounding buildings. Apparently, the remaining zombies were killed by the searching soldiers. Su Chang trembled all over, raised his head with an aggrieved look, and looked at the survivors around him, but those survivors all turned their heads away from looking at their sisters. Su Chang immediately covered her face and ran home. Her sister followed her and went back to pack her things. Yi Fan sneered and looked back at the survivors. "You must really not want to stay here." A middle-aged man smiled. "Sir, this place is far away from the hustle and bustle and the scenery is good. This is the pastoral life I dream of. When I get older, I don't like running around anymore. Yes, no one is coming here now, so we can open up fields and farm here ourselves. Yes, I can also raise chickens. I see there are eggs here, but the hens are a problem. It doesn't matter, I know how to craft, let's build an incubator ourselves. Oh, I'm so happy. I can't wait to start a new life." Yi Fan looked around and snorted with some disappointment. "There is no one decent, let's go." He turned around with the soldiers and Xiao Tian, and returned to wait in front of the sisters' fish house. After a while, Su Chang immediately brought her sister back to Yi Fan. Seeing that the survivors were far away from here, Su Chang took a deep breath and winked at Yi Fan. "Brother Yi. Well, you are very smart." "Hey, you're okay, Brother Yi, this is my sister waking up." The older girl said gratefully to Yi Fan, "Brother Yi, thank you so much. You saved our lives." "It's nothing. I also accepted what Su Chang gave me. You don't owe me anything." "That's different. Why do you need something when your life is gone? I really don't know how to thank you." Su Chang also had a face full of gratitude and admiration. "Brother Yi, you looked so handsome when you killed the zombies just now. Did you lie to me before, right? You must be a soldier, otherwise you wouldn't have such good marksmanship." Yi Fan has been misunderstood as a soldier many times, and he is too lazy to explain. After all, no matter how you explain it, it's hard to justify it. The military uniform is slightly strange, but the origin of this weapon is hard to say. He was too lazy to explain more about this matter. He had his own plans for calling this sister over. He knew that these two sisters were very capable. They cooked by themselves in the beginning of the restaurant. Yi Fan wanted to bring them along to become his chefs. In this way, he no longer has to shoulder the responsibility of cooking before becoming the company commander of the production cooking squad. "Is there anyone else in your family?" "There are not many people left. My parents left early. I grew up with my younger sister. Because the conditions were not good before, neither of us went to school much. I originally thought that when the conditions were better, we would study, but now it seems that there is no need for it." Su Xing is a little sad. She finally made money, but the end of the world has come. Without a civilized society with laws and regulations, the two sisters still don't know where to go. It is already a luxury to want to go to school anymore. It is good to be able to survive. Yi Fan coughed. "That's it. I plan to find my comrades. They are waiting for my arrival in many places. With so many people moving, eating is also a problem. I lack people to cook here. If you want, you can follow me." The Su sisters looked at each other, discussed a few words in a low voice, and immediately gave Yi Fan's answer. "We are willing. Anyway, our sisters have nowhere to go, and it is not safe to stay here." Su Xing understands this very well. Many conflicts occurred when the survivors gathered there. They stayed in that hotel for several days, with food shortages and panic. The shadow of death that could happen at any time loomed over everyone. People will collapse in this environment. During this time, she has seen the ugliness of people's hearts. If it weren't for someone coming from Yi Fan, maybe something else would happen there. She doesn't want to stay here at all, even if this is her home. Finally, the chef's problem was solved, and Yi Fan breathed a sigh of relief. After a while, the men came back first. They had cleaned up the restaurant in this small fishing village and collected a total of 1,100 gold for Yi Fan. Yi Fan's money amount increased again and reached 4,200. This trip to the small fishing village was considered a success. Order the soldiers to start setting fire and burn all the zombies. After the matter was over, Yi Fan immediately greeted them to get in the car. The driver is still Wang Hu, the co-pilot is Li Biao, and Yi Fan is in the second row. Naturally, the Sioux sisters cannot sit on the vertical bench behind and squeeze together with the soldiers, so they also follow Yifan and sit in the second row. The positions of the 6 people at the back are now crowded with 7 mobilization soldiers and a big dog. Su Haoren and Luo Fei still drove the mining truck and drove the road ahead. When passing by the survivors were still waving to him, "Goodbye, sir." Yifan snorted, and the car roared forward, but before driving far, it stopped at a gas station next to a small fishing village. Warriors use gasoline, and mining trucks burn diesel. Fuel is definitely a very precious thing in the apocalypse. Several soldiers got out of the car and swept around, but found no zombies. Picked up the refueling gun and refueled, and found that there was still a lot of oil here. It may be the beginning of the end of the world. No one has passed by here yet, and all the oil is there. There is oil, but Yifan does not have a tanker truck, so it is impossible to take away too much fuel. Fortunately, he found dozens of oil barrels at the gas station, and he filled them all. 10 barrels of gasoline and 30 barrels of diesel, plus the fuel tanks of the 2 cars are all full. This is what Yifan can take away. The oil barrels were also moved into the carriage of the mining truck. This truck was not used to hold ore, but was instead used to hold supplies. However, after loading the oil, Yifan did not dare to drive the warrior directly into the carriage like he did when he first escaped. It would be great fun if there was an explosion. The car finally left the small fishing village and drove all the way towards the coal city where Yifan's hometown is located. After traveling more than 300 kilometers at a time, they finally stopped for a rest. The Sioux sisters took the initiative to take on the task of cooking. The cabin of the mining truck is fully stocked with all kinds of food, including all seasonings and tableware. The sisters worked for about 40 minutes, and the big pot of rice was freshly cooked. Happy cold dishes, delicious stews, and some fresh stir-fries gave the red police soldiers a hearty meal. Yifan felt more and more that he had made a right decision. Even if there was a cooking class in his team in the future, it is estimated that the food made by those rich and powerful men would not be as delicious as the 2 sisters who had been running restaurants for a long time. The energy is replenished and the car moves forward again. The speed of the mining truck was not fast, and it took too much time to clean up the zombies during the day, so I had to rest on the side of the road that night. Fortunately, there were red police soldiers on duty and there was no need to worry about safety. Several people were sleeping well with their clothes on. In the early morning of the next day, after another delicious breakfast, the car continued to move forward. At 10 o'clock in the morning, Yifan's hometown of Coal City is already in sight. Thanks to Young Grass Ghost for the 5,000 coin reward, and thanks to several other book friends for their rewards. Please continue to ask for recommendation votes. Chapter 24, A Friend's House. As he approached his hometown, Yifan felt increasingly nervous. He is worried that his parents will leave him and raise him, and he will not have a chance to repay them. He felt like he wanted to go back home immediately to see what was going on. But when he arrived at the outskirts of the city, he found that things were not that simple. The country of Qin and Han had a population of 15 billion and an area of hundreds of millions of square kilometers. All cities had one characteristic, that is, they were large. A county is small when it is tens of kilometers long and wide, and it is normal for a city to be hundreds of kilometers wide. The coal city in Yifan's hometown is considered a smaller prefecture-level city, but its span is more than 100 kilometers. The urban population is tens of millions, not counting the counties, towns and towns below. To enter the coal city, you have to pass through a river called Shishing River. There is a bridge over the river that is the only way to enter the city. Yifan's vehicle drove to the bridge, and then he ran into some trouble. This bridge is usually congested, but now that the apocalypse has broken out, it is even more blocked. The fact that there was not a single gap in the entire bridge was nothing. What was important was that on the other side of the bridge, countless vehicles almost blocked the end of his field of vision. Even if Yifan's mining truck can pass the 7-star bridge, it will be difficult to get through on the other side of the bridge. At the very least, don't even think about opening up the road here in the short term. To get to the town where Yifan's home is located, you have to go through the urban area. In today's situation where zombies are rampant, this is not an easy task. Even though he was impatient, Yifan was still at a loss to do anything in the face of this situation. Standing on this side of the 7-star bridge, he could see that there were not many zombies near the river bank. The turbulent river water is flowing, and the zombies seem to be afraid of the water flow and will not go near the water. Sir, what should I do? Su Haoran stood beside Yi Fan. Faced with this situation, he didn't know how to deal with it. As combat units, they were not good at strategies in other fields. Yi Fan knew that he could no longer rely on the red police soldiers and had to come up with his own idea. How long will it take to unblock this bridge? Su Haoran looked at the bridge. Nearly 1,000 vehicles are blocked on this bridge, including some heavy vehicles. However, we can use mining trucks to push these vehicles into the river. This is not difficult. It is estimated to take about 3 hours. The difficulty is the road into the city after crossing the bridge. There are no rivers on both sides to use, and vehicles are jammed together, making it difficult to move forward. At this time, Yi Fan had no other choice but to open the bridge first. Then let's start construction without further delay. This river stretches for thousands of miles and there is no way around it. The only way is to open a bridge and find a way. Su Haoran took the order and took Luo Fei onto the mining truck. Originally, Wang Hu was asked to control the machine gun, because Wang Hu was already a 3-star conscript and would not be upgraded. Yi Fan wanted to leave the opportunity to upgrade to others. But Wang Hu's report made him change his mind. Sir, 3-star soldiers will no longer be infected by biochemical viruses, so I can be responsible for vigilance. This report stunned Yi Fan for a moment, and then he was ecstatic. You said you won't be infected again? Yes. At this time Nana gave Yi Fan an explanation. Sir, the 3-star unit in the game has the ability to automatically restore health. In the real world, adjustments have been made. The ability to restore health is used to resist biochemical viruses. All soldier units have this feature. Yi Fan remembers that if you don't kill the 3-star soldier in the game quickly, his blood volume will be automatically filled up soon, and he is another lively hero. Of course, this is unreasonable when translated into the real world. They are all flesh and blood, and injuries require treatment. There is no automatic increase in blood pressure. When Wang Hu was promoted to 3 stars, Yi Fan didn't care too much, but he didn't expect that there would be such a surprise. 3-star soldiers can be killed, but they will not be infected, which relieves Yi Fan of a worry. As long as you don't get infected, it's not easy to kill a fully armed warrior with the claws of zombies. This characteristic can save him a lot of vitality in the future. Happily, Wang Hu went to guard. Wang Hu followed the vehicle with 4 mobilization soldiers, shooting the zombies crawling out of the abandoned vehicles at any time, and he went deep into the vehicle to continue collecting gold and silver jewelry for Yi Fan. However, there are not many zombies on this bridge. There may be rivers on both sides. Zombies don't like to stay here and basically go to the other side. There are just some zombies trapped in vehicles and unable to get out. The soldiers began to take action, and Yi Fan was studying plans for future actions. Although he is anxious to go home, it seems impossible to rush across now. After clearing the bridge, he must find a place nearby to stay. The choice of foothold is not arbitrary. The place should be larger, more open, and with fewer zombies. Also, it is best to be in a wealthy area. Before he was unable to attack banks and gold stores, Yi Fan wanted to find a relatively high-end residential area where he could at least harvest more gold and silver. Looking around, Yi Fan identified a location. Shangshi Jiangshan Community. This community is a high-end villa residential area in Coal City, and some dignitaries live in it. The community is located on the bank of Qixing River, and many houses have river views. Yi Fan went to high school in Coal City. He had a high school friend named Gao Dongliang who lived in Shangshi Jiangshan. Zhao Dongliang is a fat man. His father is a coal boss in a coal city, and his family is very rich. Fatty had a fight with Yi Fan on his first day at school, and was beaten black and blue by Yi Fan. After that, Zhao Dongliang refused to accept it and competed with Yi Fan many times, playing games and football, but he was no match for him. Finally, Zhao Dongliang showed his strengths, eating and competing with Yi Fan. From then on, Zhao Dongliang regarded Yi Fan as and volunteered to be Yi Fan's follower. Yi Fan has been to his house several times before, but after Yi Fan went to college, the two separated, and Gao Dongliang stayed at home to help his father manage the coal mine. The two of them have not met each other since they went to college. I don't know if Gao Dongliang is still alive when the end of the world comes, and there is probably not much hope of survival. Standing at Yi Fan's current position, He can even directly see the gate of Shangshi Jiangshan community. Well, there are indeed fewer abandoned vehicles there. After all, there are only a few hundred households in that community. He held a telescope next to him. This is Su Haoran's scout telescope. Let's borrow it now. Looking at the gate of Shangshi Jiangshan, he could even see a security zombie trapped inside the guard box at the gate and unable to get out. There shouldn't be much change there. After Su Haoran clears the bridge, we will go in that direction. The traffic volume there is also small. We will have a foothold first and then find a way to enter the city. 2.5 hours passed, and Su Haoran finally finished the work ahead of schedule. As the last BMW was easily pushed down the river, a road was opened on the bridge. Sir, what should we do next? When everyone on my side gets on the bus, you drive the mining truck straight towards the direction of Shangshi Jiangshan and attract some zombies. Then my warriors can enter the community. We will meet inside the community, kill the zombies and then occupy the area. Clear. Wang Hu's soldiers also retreated. Although there are not too many zombies here, it is estimated that hundreds of them will be attracted if they rush into the community. Fortunately, the bullets of all soldiers have been refreshed, so it is not difficult to deal with these zombies. Sir, these are supplies. Wang Hu handed over a small package of jewelry. Although it was not much, it still converted into more than $300. Yi Fan's money amount has reached 4,500, and he is very close to opening the radar. After accepting the money and checking with a telescope for a while, Yi Fan ordered to move forward after confirming that there were no mutants such as armored zombies. The mining truck took the lead, pushing away the few cars on the left side of the road and heading straight towards the Shangshi Jiangshan community. Some zombies attracted by the mechanical sound slowly crawled out of the nearby congested traffic because the cars were not blocking the way very fast. Follow up. Wang Hu drove the warrior and stepped on the accelerator, then followed the mining truck and rushed towards the community. The car bumped and swayed from side to side, but did not roll over. When we arrived at the gate of the community, the metal crossbar was knocked open by the warriors, and the car rushed straight into the yard. The community covering an area of 10 square kilometers seemed very empty, and there were not many zombies, which made Yi Fan very happy. The mining truck is annihilating the chasing zombies from behind, and his side is relatively safe. Turn the corner and go to Villa number 66. Villa number 66 is Gao Dongliang's home. If Gao Dongliang's family is gone, Yi Fan knows that there is a gold ornament in his home. The golden horse was a coming-of-age gift given to Gao Dongliang by his father. Once you get this thing, the radar can be turned on. The car stopped in front of Villa number 66. Yi Fan asked the soldiers to be alert. He went over and knocked on the door. There was no sound, which made him feel cold. Perhaps his good friend is no longer around. However, the security door of the villa was not easy to open. There were even iron railings installed on the first and second floors. The fire axe was on the mining truck. He had to wait for Su Haoran to arrive before opening the door. The Su sisters also got out of the car and followed Yi Fan. After a while, the mining truck rumbled in, obviously getting rid of the zombies. Su Haoran, come here and open the door. Su Haoran immediately got out of the car and ran over, but he did not use a fire axe. As a scout, unlocking is one of his special skills. Taking out the lock-picking tools, Yi Fan was also very interested and wanted to learn from Su Haoran. Handing the tools into Yi Fan's hands, Su Haoran taught him step by step. At this moment, someone suddenly spoke in the room. Who? Yi Fan was stunned. This was clearly Gao Dongliang's voice. He is still alive. Yi Fan was immediately overjoyed. Gao Dongliang, I am Yi Fan. The door opened with a bang. I saw the fat man with a rice cooker on his head, a thick military coat on his body, and a sword in his hand. Yi Fan remembered that it was his dad's hanging on the wall of his house. It seemed to be an antique. After seeing Yi Fan, Gao Dongliang couldn't help but rub his eyes. Am I not dreaming? Yi Fan couldn't help but smile when he looked at his appearance, and then gave him a hug. It's time to wake up from the dream, fat man. Gao Dongliang also hugged Yi Fan excitedly, and the rice cooker even hit Yi Fan's nose. It is indeed an exciting thing to see friends in these last days. Looking at Yi Fan up and down in surprise for a long time, his eyes finally fell on the unlocking tool in Yi Fan's hand. Yi Fan, you are really a god, you are also good at digging out doors and picking locks. Yi Fan's mouth twitched. It's okay. Chapter 25. Building radar. Seeing Yi Fan leading people into the house, Yao Dongliang became a little nervous. Su Haoren, Luo Fei, Wang Hu, Li Biao. The soldiers with loaded weapons and murderous intent made him instinctively afraid, especially when the big dog Xiao Tian came in. He involuntarily shrank behind Yi Fan. Yi Fan, what are you? When did you become an officer? Looking at the epaulets on Yi Fan's shoulders, Yao Dongliang felt very strange. Yi Fan has long known that when he returns to his hometown, one day he will run into someone he knows. This problem is inevitable. It cannot be said that the existence of the Red Alert system is the foundation for Yi Fan to settle down in the last days. Once he set it out, if there were any powerful people in the world, he would definitely be regarded as a thorn in his side. He would not want to attract attention and cause risks and troubles before his strength grows. He is not the only one who has played Red Alert. There are many. If he is exposed, he may be targeted in a targeted manner. However, Yi Fan had already thought of an excuse. Now that Yao Dongliang asked about it, Yi Fan also had a clue. Fat man, it's not that I won't tell you the truth, but you should know that the army has a confidentiality system. Are you sure you want to know some secrets? With such an answer, those who are closer will naturally not ask, but for those who are not so close, Yi Fan has no obligation to explain. Yao Dongliang immediately waved his hand. Yi Fan, if that's the case, I won't ask. We can't let you make mistakes. Yi Fan smiled and nodded. This is best. You just need to know that my identity is different now. Hey, okay. Anyway, I don't think it's unusual for you to do anything harmful. No, it's not unusual for you to do anything shocking. Yi Fan smiled. His old friend was still very smart. Yi Fan, are you back from Bingcheng? Yes, I want to find my family and my comrades when I come back, but it's a little difficult to enter the city now. As he said that, he asked Yao Dongliang, where is your family? It's all gone, now I'm the only one left. Yao Dongliang's mood was a little low. Yi Fan patted Yao Dongliang's shoulder, feeling a little heavy. This apocalypse has taken away too many things and too many people, and everything is different. Yao Dongliang's family is very big, but since Yao Dongliang is at home, Yi Fan doesn't plan to set up camp at their house. After all, some secret matters are involved, and the fewer people who know about it, the better. But now that he is here, he also has some things he wants to ask Yao Dongliang. Fat man, do you know what the current situation is like at our house? What do you want to ask about? The surrounding situation. There are not too many zombies in this villa area, but it is a dead place. After leaving the villa area, the surrounding roads are blocked. It is too difficult to go to the city. What about inside this villa area? Are there many people alive? There are very few. I know there are some villas where some people are still hiding, but they don't dare to come out. Most of the houses are empty, and some of them still have zombies inside. Yi Fan looked out the window. There were still zombies wandering on the roads in the community. Although not too many, they were enough to pose a fatal threat to ordinary people. Since there are no big survivors here, Yi Fan can settle down here. Tell me which villa around there is no one around. I will have many brothers from the army coming over in the future, and they may have to requisition this area. Okay, I know everything. I'll draw it for you. Yao Dongliang took a piece of paper, with a circle representing a house, and marked all the unoccupied houses he knew. Boss, you are a soldier now, do you want to rescue survivors? While Yao Dongliang was painting, he asked Yi Fan questions. Yi Fan was stunned for a moment. How to rescue? Do you want me to search among the zombies? That's not what I meant. I meant that if you want to rescue survivors, I should be able to help you a little bit. Oh, what do you say? Yao Dongliang smiled. I listened to the radio. Now there are no TV networks. Only radio stations can still be used. In the first few days, people still asked for help through the radio, but they rarely appear these days. It may be the radio station. The people over there were killed. If you can send me to the radio and television bureau, I will definitely let everyone in the city know that there are soldiers here. Can you still use the radio? If you know how to do it, maybe you can bring me the machine and I can publish it here. Yi Fan didn't speak, he hadn't thought about this issue yet. I don't know what will happen in the future, but at least at this stage, Yi Fan has no intention of accepting survivors. I haven't found my family yet, so how can I be in the mood to take care of others? However, what Gao Dongliang said is also a way. If such a day comes, maybe this former best friend of mine can really come in handy. Yi Fan and Gao Dongliang have a good relationship, and those who can take care of them will take care of them. However, if Gao Dongliang himself fails, Yi Fan cannot take care of him too much. When the end of the world comes, everyone must rely on their own abilities to contribute. In this era, rice worms cannot exist. But what will happen to Gao Dongliang? Yi Fan is not yet ready to make a decision, everything will have to be seen slowly. Yi Fan was now anxious to find his parents. After putting away the paper that Gao Dongliang had drawn for him, he said, "Fat man, I have other things to do now. I need to get familiar with the situation here and clean up the zombies in the community. If you have something to do, or if there is nothing to eat here, just go to Villa number 58 to find me." Yi Fan took a fancy to a 3-story villa in the back. It was at least big enough, and there were many empty houses around it. Clean up the zombies around and establish a foothold for yourself so that Fatty can live a safer life here. This can also be regarded as Yi Fan fulfilling his responsibility as a friend. Don't worry, I have nothing to do here. I still have some food at home, so I can sustain myself for the time being. With my body, I can survive others even if I am strong, hee. While speaking, he patted his belly, and the meat on his belly trembled, which made Mark and the Su sisters couldn't help but laugh. Gao Dongliang also knew that it was inconvenient for Yi Fan to bring a group of troops to live here, so he immediately expressed his attitude. Yi Fan didn't mention the golden pony. There are many vacant villas around here, which is enough for him to collect gold. There is no need to get the things Gao Dongliang's parents left for him. He took everyone away from Gao Dongliang's house. He, Su Haoran, Wang Hu and the Su sisters went to Villa number 58. As for the others, Yi Fan asked them to disperse. There were some zombies wandering on the road. Yi Fan didn't even need to shoot. His men could easily deal with them with bayonets. But he could also feel the situation outside the villa area. The road was completely blocked. Although he could temporarily stay in the villa area now, he was not familiar with the surrounding situation and could not even leave here. Su Haoran took the lead and opened the door of Villa number 58, and a nanny zombie emerged from inside. Wang Hu next to him killed the zombies with one assassination and dragged them out. Luxury living rooms and splendid decorations. Although some businessmen are rich, they don't know much about taste. They just think that the more dazzling decorations, the more wealthy they appear. The first floor is the living room, and the huge chandelier connects to the second floor. The second floor and above are bedrooms, study rooms and so on. There is a balcony at the front and rear of the villa, from which you can observe the surroundings. Yi Fan sat on the sofa and checked the money on hand. 4,510 gold. If you attack the army, you can create a large army. However, if dozens of soldiers are not familiar with the situation, they may be wiped out in the zombie swarm. After all, it is difficult for vehicles to enter urban areas now. You must have a radar, otherwise you won't know anything about your surroundings. The Su sisters went to cook. Yi Fan waited indoors for about an hour while the soldiers who went to collect jewelry came back one after another. This villa area is different from the civilian area. After a while, Yi Fan brought back jewelry worth a total of 1,700 gold. However, I have basically found all the unmanned villas marked by Gao Dongliang. After all, villas are not gold shops, and it is not easy to collect so many. After getting this amount of money, the total amount of money in Yi Fan's hand reached 6,200. There is still money to be made to build radar. Opening the system page, Yi Fan selected the radar item on the main building page. "Sir, are you sure you want to build a radar?" "Sure. It's confirmed that the radar will be built, it will cost 5,000 gold, and it will take 50 minutes. Please be patient, sir." Yi Fan is in peace now that he's here. He's already here, so it doesn't matter if he waits a little longer. The Su sisters quickly prepared meals in the kitchen. After everyone had a meal together, the Red Alert soldiers spread out and occupied various key points in the villa. The place was immediately heavily guarded. The Dongfeng warrior drove into the garage, and one car occupied 2 parking spaces. There used to be a red Porsche sports car in the garage, and Yi Fan felt a pity for it when he saw it. The magic tool for picking up girls in the past has become useless now. It is not as useful as the 3-Bengzi motorcycle I used when I was the squad leader. Sports cars have given way to warriors, and the giant mining trucks can only be placed in the yard, and the garage here cannot accommodate them. Seeing that it was almost time to build the radar, Yi Fan went to the master bedroom on the 3rd floor. Wang Hu and Li Biao were guarding the door, while Su Haoren and Xiao Tian were walking around, observing the surrounding situation vigilantly. Didi. Congratulations, sir, the radar construction is completed, please check it. Chapter 26. Radar Functions and New Arms, 3rd Update. When Yi Fan played the game, he remembered that the main buildings were produced in this order. First expand the base vehicle, then build the power plant, then the mining field, barracks, radar, tank factory, etc. Now that the mining site cannot be built, the radar becomes the 3rd building. This is also the first major building he built after becoming the commander. The power plant and barracks were built when he was in the game, and they came with them after binding to the system. After the radar was successfully constructed, the main interface of the red alert, which had always been dark, finally lit up. But it was not the game screen that Yi Fan was familiar with, but the surrounding large map. It's like some mobile phone navigation maps, but it's much more detailed than that. It's the kind of version where you shoot from a high altitude and then zoom in closer. You can even touch it with your mind to make the map slide left and right. You can also zoom in or out just like looking at a photo. The Shengshi Jiangshan community where Yi Fan is currently located has a high-definition floor plan on the map. Yi Fan was able to see his location through the map, and even saw Villa number 66 where Gao Dongliang was located. There is a blue light spot in Villa number 66, while there are 14 white light spots and 2 blue light spots in Villa number 58. In other surrounding villas, several also showed blue light spots and some red light spots. Zoom out the map a little, and the situation outside the villa area also comes into view. Different from the inside of the villa area, the outside is densely covered with red light spots, like an endless ocean tide. Nana, what is the range that this radar can monitor? Sir, the radar's monitoring range is a radius of 5 kilometers. In the Red Alert game, the radar monitoring range is also very small, and only spy satellites can cover the full screen. Yi Fan remembered that Nana could observe a radius of 300 meters around her before, but now it has been increased to 5,000 meters. The improvement cannot be said to be small, but he still feels that it is small. Because I can't see my home from this distance. This radar is not particularly powerful. Sir, what we are currently building is a virtual radar, whose functions are weaker than those of physical buildings. If you can build a radar in the real world, the monitoring range will be increased to a radius of 50 kilometers. But this radar also has an advantage. I exist in the commander's will. As long as the commander goes wherever he goes, this radar will move with him. The 5-kilometer monitoring range is already quite large. Hearing Nana's explanation, Yi Fan nodded. That's pretty much it. From now on, he will be a humanoid radar. What about the light spots on the map? I think they should be living things. Not exactly, sir. There are currently 5 colors of light spots in the radar range. The red represents zombies, the blue represents survivors, the white light dots represent our red alert units, and the purple light dots represent mutant beasts. There is also a green light spot. Green light does not currently appear in the radar range. If it appears, the commander should pay attention. The green light spot represents the supply box. Yi Fan looked carefully and saw that the 14 white light spots were his red police soldiers and Xiao Tian, as well as 2 cars. These were both red police units. The blue spot at number 66 is Yao Dongliang, and the 2 blue ones here are the Su sisters. The densely packed red light spots on the periphery are all zombies. If you look carefully, you can indeed find sporadic purple light spots, which should be mutant beasts. The green light spot Nana mentioned did not appear, which proves that the supply box has not been refreshed within this range. He had to admit that it was much easier to see everything with radar. Among the surrounding red zombies, he can clearly distinguish where there are more zombies and where there are fewer zombies. This also provides him with a relatively safe way to enter the city. Moreover, he can also see any unusual movements of zombies through radar, so he can take precautions in advance. The main purpose of building radar is for surveillance, but there are also other benefits, that is, the unlocking of other buildings and troops. First of all, here in the main building, the radar construction is completed, and the icon of the 4th main building, the tank factory, lights up. The cost is 10,000 gold. Chariot Factory is a very important building in the game, and all kinds of vehicles are produced from it. Based on the situation in the real world, Yi Fan believes that the further back, the greater the power of the tank will be exerted, because the zombies faced will become stronger and stronger. It's just that 10,000 gold is too much for him. This rich area has been wiped out by him, and it will not be so easy to get money next. Nana reminded at this time, "Sir, please note that the tank factory is the last virtual building that can be built. The following main buildings include the Air Command Department, Maintenance Plant, Training Center, Combat Laboratory, Shipyard, Nuclear Reactor, etc. As well as buildings such as Light Prism Towers, Spy Satellites, Super Weapons, and many unique military buildings of the Qin and Han dynasties. They all require physical construction to be successful." Oh. That means that after I finish building the tank factory, I won't unlock the next virtual building. Yes, because the power of the virtual world power plant can only be supplied up to this point, the construction of the virtual building will also come to a standstill before the physical building is built. So the commander, please pay attention to collecting materials and prepare for the construction of the physical base vehicle. Yi Fan will not worry about this problem for the time being. It will take a long time for him to build a virtual tank factory now. He knows all the buildings in the Red Alert game. He is now more interested in the characteristic buildings of the Qin and Han dynasty military provided after the system upgrade, but he cannot view them now. After looking at the tank factory, he looked at the defense interface. Previously, the defense interface only had walls, which were divided into number 1, number 2, and number 3 fences. Now, 2 new buildings have been added. Machine gun bunker, sentry tower. This has also changed. In the past, Yi Fan remembered that there were only machine gun bunkers, but now they are different. Machine gun bunker, 3 Red Alert soldiers are required to take turns controlling it, 1 machine gunner, 1 auxiliary, and 1 reserve. The whole reinforced concrete structure has a built-in domestic 5.89 Type 12.7 mm heavy machine gun. The total gun is 1.8 meters long and weighs 26 kilograms. It is fixed in the machine gun bunker and cannot be moved. The effective range is 1,500 meters. The shooting angle can be adjusted 180 degrees. With 5,000 rounds of ammunition and cannot be upgraded. Construction price, 1,800 gold. Watchtower, it requires 3 Red Alert soldiers to operate, 1 machine gunner, 1 observer, and 1 reserve. The height is divided into 2 types, 5.5 meters and 10.5 meters, which can be used with fences. It has a built-in domestic 4.67 Type 7.62 mm heavy machine gun. The total gun weight is 15.5 kilograms. The effective range is 1,200 meters. It can shoot at 360 degrees. The ammunition capacity is 4,000 rounds and cannot be upgraded. There is a built-in searchlight with a range of 1,000 meters and requires power supply. Construction price, 1,200 gold for a 5.5 meter sentry tower and 2,000 gold for a 10.5 meter sentry tower. These 2 types of defense buildings are typical. The machine gun bunker is the former machine gun bunker. However, this kind of building is not movable, and the machine gun bunker does not have a star promotion system. The sentry tower was not available in the previous Red Alert, and there were 2 models based on the construction of the fence. However, these 2 types of buildings cannot be used for the time being until the base is actually established. Having seen the defense buildings, next is the soldier page that Yi Fan is most looking forward to. I wonder what new arms will be unlocked after building the radar. Open the soldier page, and there are indeed new options in it. Engineer, cost 1,000 gold. Sniper, cost 800 gold. Medical staff, cost 200 gold. Engineer Yi Fan knows it all too well. The scientific and technological elites in the Red Alert can build bridges, seize oil fields, airports, and occupy enemy bases. If you enter a multi-purpose infantry vehicle, you can also turn the vehicle into a maintenance vehicle. I don't know if there have been any changes in the real world, but the cost of 1,000 did make Yi Fan a little stunned. The cost of 800 gold for a sniper is not low. In the game, a sniper is a special unit where the sun never sets. Of course, this is unreasonable. There are no snipers in any country in the world. So the system was upgraded, and this was added to the technological arms of Qin and Han dynasties. The medical staff have never been seen before, but this is also necessary. With the increase in the number of soldiers, it is obviously unrealistic to only let Yifan treat alone. The medical staff will give birth sooner or later, which also frees Yifan. The ordinary labor tasks ensure the survival probability of the soldiers. Looking at the money on hand, after building the radar, there were only 1,200 gold left. It is impossible to build all three types. Engineers and snipers must give up one of them first. Which one should I build? Yifan had a hard time making a choice. Chapter 27, Heading towards the city. Now Yifan's choice is between engineers and snipers. From Yifan's heart, he was inclined to choose an engineer. There are so many uses for engineers, and after the system is upgraded, there will definitely be functions that you can't think of. The cost of 1,000 gold alone is enough to instantly kill all current military types. Naturally, it is expensive for a reason. But snipers are also important. If he hadn't seen armored zombies, Yifan might not be too anxious, but now that armored zombies have appeared, he must have a stronger firepower point as it is difficult for mining trucks to enter the city in a short period of time. His next task is very simple, which is to go through the city and head towards home to find his parents. This is a long journey, and he may encounter some dangers. Faced with armored zombies, only snipers can kill them. Su Haoran said when he was in the small fishing village, unless there are large-caliber weapons. But what prompted Yifan to finally make up his mind was the medical soldiers. When he asked Nana about the characteristics of several arms, Nana gave him an answer. Sir, snipers, like scouts, only have one quota in a platoon, while engineers and medical personnel have unlimited quotas. If the commander produces medics, it is best to produce two at once. Oh, why? Yifan asked. Because medics need to carry stretchers, and other soldiers are responsible for fighting. If a soldier is injured, two medics are needed to carry the stretcher and move them to a safe place. If only one medic is produced, then the commander needs to be responsible when to carry the stretcher. Yifan thought for a while and asked Nana, what will happen to the red alert soldiers if I die? The red alert system exists only because of you, sir. If you no longer exist, all red alert units will automatically disappear. Hearing this condition, Yifan gave up the idea of producing engineers immediately. He took the two Su sisters with him in order not to cook. Now that he has finally stopped cooking, do he still have to carry the stretcher? It's not that he is lazy, it's that he knows his own importance. As a commander, it's better to try not to go deep into dangerous areas. The red alert system exists in his mind. Once he hangs up, the entire system will collapse. This risk cannot be taken. Now that he only has 1,200 gold, the production engineer can only build one medic, and the production sniper can build two more. Nana, give me a sniper and two medics. Okay, sir. The manufacturing time will take a total of 12 minutes, please wait patiently. Evan was lying on the bed in the bedroom. 8 minutes later, the door opened. A soldier wearing brown camouflage, a grass-green cloak, and a beret came in from outside. This man is only 1.7 meters tall. Although his face is ordinary, his eyes are as sharp as an eagle. He was carrying a long sniper rifle behind his back, and a Type 67 silent pistol and a dagger at his waist. The pistol was the same model as Su Haoran's. Arriving in front of Yifan, the sniper stood at attention and saluted, Sir. Sniper Chen Chuan is here to report. Yifan returned a military salute, tell me about your situation. Sir, I am good at assassination, lurking, and can hide in various harsh environments. I can maintain shooting accuracy without eating for 3 days. I use a domestic AMR-2 sniper rifle with an effective range of 1,800 meters and high-precision infrared aim, and be equipped with night vision goggles and a silencer. The firearm has 10 rounds of ammunition in a starless state. Although there are only 10 bullets, Yifan believes that the sniper's star rise will not be slow. Because every bullet he fires will kill high-value zombie units. What about other aspects besides sniping? I am also good at using the pistol. In terms of combat, it is about the same as a 1-star mobilization soldier. I will definitely not hold back the commander. Very good, this time entering the city depends on your performance. Sniper Chen Chuan saluted and then stepped aside. If Yifan hadn't seen him standing there, this person would always feel ignored, as if there was no one there at all. This is the temperament of a sniper, not to be discovered by the enemy. The addition of a powerful unit gave Yi Fan a lot of confidence. After Qin Xuan's introduction, the door opened again, and two soldiers wearing camouflage uniforms walked in. The two men were both about 1.8 meters tall, with somewhat burly builds. They were carrying large backpacks on their backs, and one of them was also holding a folding stretcher. They did not have a main weapon, but were equipped with a Type 54 pistol on their waist, and no magazine was seen. Different from other arms, they have a cross armband on their left arm, proving their status as medical soldiers. Yi Fan was stunned for a moment because he thought two female soldiers would come. Looking at old movies, aren't the people responsible for rescuing people all female soldiers, and they are all quite beautiful? When he asked this question, the medical soldier gave him the answer. Sir, compared with female medical soldiers, male medical soldiers have one skill, which is to carry a stretcher. Because you want the medical soldiers to be able to carry the stretcher when you give birth, so the male soldiers are selected by default. Most female medical soldiers are nurses. If you can build field hospitals, there will be many female medical soldiers, and of course you can also forcefully choose to produce female soldiers. Yi Fan immediately waved his hand righteously. I didn't mean that. I just asked casually. It's not easy to take care of female soldiers. No matter what you think in your heart, at least it is invisible on the surface. What kind of medical equipment do you have? Sir, the medical kit is roughly the same as yours. It also contains scissors, tweezers, blood transfusion plasma, and a small oxygen cylinder. It can treat simple injuries. However, we do not have antiviral serum. The serum is a special equipment for the commander. Then can you upgrade? Yes, killing zombies and rescuing red alert soldiers and survivors can increase our upgrade needs. After upgrading, our medical level and carry-on medicines will be improved, and we can also rescue more serious injuries. 3-star medical soldiers can even ability to restore acquired disabilities. Hearing this answer, Yi Fan was very satisfied. Medical soldiers are also an important part of the battlefield, especially the 3-star medical soldiers, who are simply miracle doctors. Even though the cost is only 200 gold, once he is trained, he will be like a professor at a medical university. I don't know what a spectacular scene it will be when a field hospital is built, but it is too far away. How are your skills? Sir, the medical soldiers have also received basic military training, and their combat effectiveness and marksmanship are roughly equivalent to those of starless mobilization soldiers. Conscripts without stars can fight two of them one at a time. Yi Fan estimated his own strength, and it might be about the same level as himself. Finally, there was a red police unit with similar strength to his own, which made Yi Fan feel a little happy. He didn't know if the red alert system would allow him to improve his strength in the future, but he still had some expectations in his heart. But he has a good mentality. It's better if he has it, and it doesn't matter if he doesn't. The powerful army under his command is his own strength. As long as the combat effectiveness of the army increases, any personal strength will be scum in front of him. The number of people increased by 3, and the number of red police soldiers under Yi Fan reached 14 and 1 dog. Now that he has strong soldiers and horses, Yi Fan can't wait to go home. However, he still stayed calm all night. Night was not a good time to take action. This time he left the prosperous country to go home. I am afraid that he would not be able to come back in a day or two, so he had to be well prepared. Taking advantage of the time before dusk fell, Yi Fan asked the red police soldiers to go hunting again. Under the guidance of radar, it was clear where there were zombies in the community. Yi Fan wiped out all the zombies here. Killing these zombies brought another 200 units of money. This may be the last gold and silver jewelry in the Shangshi Jiangshan community. Any more will probably be in the hands of the survivors. Yi Fan doesn't want to provoke those survivors now, because he really can't afford the safety of too many people. With these 200 units of money, Yi Fan produced 2 more recruits for mobilization. The task given to them was to stay in Villa number 58 and take care of the safety of the Su sisters. This time I can't drive when I go out. It's too inconvenient to take the Su sisters with me, so I might as well let them stay here. Su Xing and Su Cheng stayed up late to cook a lot of food for Yi Fan and the others, and steamed a lot of steamed buns. Everyone's military kettles were filled with water, which was enough for these people to eat for 2 days. Yi Fan's commander's luggage still has a lot of food in it, which is all spare, but no one else knows. After a good night's rest, the next morning, Yi Fan set off with his troops. 1 3-star mobilization, 3 2-star mobilization, and 5 1-star mobilization. A 1-star scout, a 1-star army soldier, and a starless sniper. 2 starless medics and a 1-star military dog. Including the commander Yi Fan, there are a total of 15 people and 1 dog. The firepower of this team can be said to be very powerful. Although the mining truck and warriors cannot drive away, Yi Fan is also confident that this time he will fight his way into the city and return home. Chapter 28. The second supply box. Yi Fan had to walk a long distance if he wanted to go home. He is now located in the south of Coal City and needs to travel through most of the city to the northeast corner of Coal City. His home is located in Chengguan Town, a northeastern suburb of Coal City. Strictly speaking, it belongs to a county town, but its actual location is in the urban-rural fringe area. First of all, Yi Fan needs to plan a route home. Without radar, this would be a difficult job, but with radar it becomes much easier. A scan with a radius of 5 kilometers clearly displayed everything around him before his eyes. You can't walk on the road outside the door, and the place with the least traffic and the least number of zombies is to go out to the north, take the park in the middle of the street, and then run towards the 5th road. The road is being built there and the number of zombies is relatively small. Yi Fan can only see here, and he can't see further away. Looking back, he saw that the Su sisters were saying goodbye to them at the door, and the 2 newly created mobilization soldiers were responsible for their protection. Over at Villa number 66, Yao Dongliang was also looking here, and waved to Yi Fan when he saw him. Yi Fan nodded to them and then led the team forward, going straight to the barbed wire fence in the north of the villa area. The wall is not high, about 1.5 meters, and is connected by cement pillars. Su Haoren took the lead and jumped over with a whoosh. Following that, Qin Chuan, Luo Fei, and the mobilization soldiers all jumped over the wall in a whoosh. Even the medical soldiers jumped over, not to mention Xiao Tian, who leaped over easily. Yi Fan was embarrassed to climb, so he held back his strength, put his hands on the cement pillar and jumped down. Jumped over. Didn't fall. Although his pants were scratched, the quality of his commander's uniform was still good and there was no crotch. Yi Fan waved his hands behind him without looking back, very satisfied with this action. Leaving the villa area, there is a park in the middle of the street in front of you. The park area is empty. There were not many people here when the biohazard broke out, and there was no way to hide here. There were no survivors staying here afterwards, so it was the only area with few zombies in the surrounding area. Remember, if you can't shoot in the city, try not to shoot. The sound of gunfire will attract a large number of zombies. Vehicles cannot be used here, and escaping is a problem. If you really need to shoot, try to let Su Haoren shoot. The soldiers nodded one after another, and all those who could mount bayonets did so. There are about hundreds of zombies wandering around the park, and many of them seem to be old people. These old people who were stumbling in the past have now become more vigorous and vigorous, with scarlet eyes wandering around, and they no longer look senile. Go ahead. The troops moved forward, and Xiao Tian rushed out at the lead, threw himself directly in front of an old zombie, bit his throat in the air, and tore it in the air, killing the zombie on the spot. The movement is as fast as lightning. When facing a single ordinary zombie, Xiao Tian is a very fast killing tool. Zombies roared around them, and the mobilization soldiers advanced quickly, stabbing with bayonets. In an open place like a park, soldiers can calmly distance themselves from zombies. Even if there are hundreds of zombies, they will not be threatened at all. 10 minutes later, all the zombies in the park have been wiped out. I collected gold and silver jewelry, but there wasn't much. Hundreds of zombies only collected more than 100 gold. On average, each zombie only collected 1 gram of gold. Yi Fan converted the money and continued to lead the team forward. After leaving the park in the center of the street, you will cross the crosswalk and reach the 5th Avenue. The 5th road is under construction and half of the road is blocked, leaving only half for vehicle traffic. So there were fewer vehicles passing here at that time, and the number of zombies was also relatively small. Don't make too much noise, move forward steadily and step by step. Yi Fan gave the order again, and the soldiers moved forward steadily along the street. Although the speed is a little slower, it is safer. At this snail's pace, Yi Fan and his team spent an hour walking nearly 2 kilometers. Then Yi Fan encountered his first problem after entering the city. Ahead is the intersection of 5th Avenue and a parallel road, and the road construction only goes up to this point. The intersection is like hell. The vehicles are completely crowded together. There is no gap at all. If you want to pass, you can only climb on the roof of the car. In the abandoned traffic, you can still see some bones and zombies slowly wandering among them. Yi Fan looked around. He wanted to go northeast. There were only two options for walking along the street. One was to cross the crosswalk and go north, and the other was to turn right and east. To the north there is the second hospital of the People's Hospital. There is no doubt that it is a zombie nest. If you go east, you can take the ground, but there is an underground passage below, which is a small commodity clothing street. After this section of the street, further ahead is Yida City, also called Yida Amusement Park. Yi Fan vaguely remembered that there was a silver jewelry shop in the underground street, selling some snowflake silver jewelry. Although there is no gold, if you can win it, you can get at least several thousand money. Yi Fan did not move forward immediately. He opened the red alert page, checked the radar display, and looked for the next path. As soon as the radar was turned on, Yi Fan felt his scalp numb. He knew there must be a lot of zombies in the city, but he really didn't expect there to be such a large number. On the radar display with a diameter of 10 kilometers with him as the center, red dots occupied almost everything. At a glance, I dare not say there are too many zombies. There are definitely more than 200,000 zombies in this area. You must know that this is not the city center yet, which shows how dangerous it is. In the hospital to the east, there are simply too many red dots to count. In the underground street to the north, there are also countless red dots, which is shocking to see. Forget it, let's walk on the ground. If we are in danger in the underground street, we won't be able to escape. Yi Fan gave up the idea of capturing the silver jewelry store now. The current strength is probably not enough to fill the teeth of the zombies. Order the team to turn right and east, instead of walking in the middle of the street. There is no road at all in the middle. Only the sidewalks on both sides can still pass through here, but be careful of zombies that may jump out of the shops facing the street at any time. Soldiers guarded on both sides. Xiao Tian opened the way in front, and Yi Fan and the medical soldiers were in the center. We walked slowly for a while, and in front of us was the savings office of a local commercial bank. Yi Fan rarely came to the bank before. He had no savings and did not dare to use credit cards to overdraft. He only came here to withdraw some money from his parents. While passing by, Yi Fan stopped and found several zombies inside the bank counter, still wearing bank uniforms, trapped indoors and unable to get out. Yi Fan walked in, and several zombies waved their arms at him through the bulletproof glass. The cash box on the ground was knocked over, and red banknotes were scattered all over the floor. Yi Fan sighed. He had no intention of entering this bank, because it was impossible for such a small savings bank to have gold and silver reserves. There was even very little gold and silver in some branches. Only regional head offices had gold. Not to mention that those head offices are also in the downtown area. Even if he can get in, opening the vault will be an unsolvable problem. The ATM machine next to it was smashed open by someone unknown, and there were about hundreds of thousands of banknotes piled inside. Yi Fan grabbed a large handful, looked at it for a while, and then threw it back. I don't even need to wipe my butt. The soldiers in front of the door were still sniping at the approaching zombies with bayonets. Yi Fan didn't stay long and turned around to leave. Continuing to advance steadily, Yi Fan was impatient but couldn't get up any faster. The group of people were like mice crossing the street, walking along side by side, and finally arrived at the gate of Yida City when it was approaching 11 o'clock at noon. Phew. I'm really fed up with this slow speed, but it's easier to handle now. Just go through Yida City and walk 2 blocks to the residential area in front. The number of zombies in the residential area is less than that in the main street. A lot. After passing the residential area, we are heading to Airport Road. It's quick to leave the city. Yi Fan was walking on a diagonal line. As long as he passed through this relatively prosperous area, he could travel much faster. Now we have to pass through Yida Amusement Park and climb over the wall behind the amusement park. The amusement park is mostly filled with children, or their mothers. Even if they turn into zombies, they probably won't be very effective in combat. It's just a good place to brush up here, let my soldiers upgrade their stars again, and collect supplies along the way. Yi Fan planned it very well. Mothers who can take their children to the amusement park are basically from good families, and they must be wearing a lot of jewelry with them. Along the way, after several hours of fierce fighting, Yi Fan's money amount has increased to more than 500. Hope you can gain something here. In front is Yida City, with a cartoon-patterned arch in the center, and domestic or foreign animated sculptures placed everywhere. The parking lot in front of the door was also in chaos, and it seemed that there had been an explosion. The cars were all pitch black. Due to the explosion, there were no zombies in front of the door. Yi Fan and his group followed them to the main entrance. Not far into the walk, Xiao Tian suddenly stopped. The ears are erect, the hair is slightly raised, and he is full of vigilance. What's wrong? Are there many zombies nearby? Yi Fan immediately took people to hide behind the guard room, and then turned on the radar screen. On the radar, there were dense red dots, and Yi Fan was already a little numb after seeing it too much. With a radius of 5 kilometers, basically the entire Yida City amusement park is within the screen range. Yi Fan checked it out and was dazzled by the bunch of red dots. He was about to turn off the screen when he discovered that a green light appeared deep in the amusement park. White is our red police unit, blue is the survivors, red zombies and purple mutants, this green is the supply box. Yi Fan's eyes suddenly lit up. The first time he opened a supply box and got a mining truck was at the beginning of the apocalypse. He had not seen a second box in the past few days. Unexpectedly, there was a new one in Yida City this time. Sir, we found a supply box, the refresh time is 48 hours, please pay attention to collect it. Yi Fan nodded and hurriedly zoomed in on the map to determine the location of the supply box. The location is confirmed, located at the Ferris wheel in Yida City. It is 1.2 kilometers away from him in a straight line. Let's go get the supply box. Yi Fan was about to go excitedly, but Xiao Tian whined in his throat. Chapter 30, Carousel Defense. Xiao Yan's abnormal behavior aroused Yi Fan's idea. Xiao Tian is a military dog. What makes him so alert must be the emergence of mutated zombies. Yi Fan immediately checked on the map and quickly discovered the clues. About 800 meters ahead, there was a red light spot moving slowly. There are hundreds of these light spots, and one of them is bright red. Those light spots are separated by a tree from where Yi Fan and the others are, so they haven't noticed each other yet. Why is this so red? Yi Fan felt that this light spot was redder than the others. Others were light red, but this one was bright red. Sir, the darker the red, the stronger the zombie. This bright red dot proves that it is a mutant zombie. Yi Fan thought he had encountered Tai Jia and hurriedly looked in that direction. Su Haoren, telescope. Su Haoren handed over the telescope, and Yi Fan could see clearly this time. From the green trees over there, a large group of zombies are slowly coming this way. In front of the zombie group is a female zombie in her 20s. Although the clothes are torn, it can still be seen that she used to wear fashionable clothes, and she must have been a young mother during her lifetime. But now, it's a devil. Her arms have now reached below her knees, and her black nails have grown nearly a foot long. The nose twitched slightly, as if he sensed something smell. While feeling the source of the smell, he moved towards Yi Fan. She was followed by a group of zombies, many of them even child zombies. They seemed to be wandering unconsciously, but they were following this female zombie unknowingly. It's not like Yi Fan has never seen such a zombie before. When he was in a small fishing village, there was a female zombie who was very fast. But compared with this one, that one looks worse in appearance and skin. That one should not be fully evolved, but this one is a fully evolved body. Beside this female zombie, there were even several other women, similar to those seen in the small fishing village. Looking at the zombie's black claws and slightly arched body, which gave people the impression of a leopard, Yi Fan felt bad. In a sense, agile zombies are even more difficult to deal with than armored zombies. This thing must be extremely fast. And Yi Fan discovered a problem. Ordinary zombies will instinctively follow advanced zombies. It was the time in the small fishing village, and it is the same now. The mutant zombie's sense of smell or feeling is definitely better than other zombies. Even if they are far away from themselves, they can still vaguely feel the presence of themselves and others. Chen Chuan, are you sure you can kill this agile zombie with one shot? Sniper Chen Chuan picked up his sniper rifle and looked through the scope. Sir, there are trees blocking us, so we are not absolutely sure. Yi Fan signaled him to put down his gun, and he couldn't move without absolute certainty. There were 3 quasi-agile zombies around this zombie, and there were no good hidden gathering places in the amusement park. If he alerted the snake, the consequences would be disastrous. Yi Fan was in some trouble. These zombies were very close to the Ferris wheel. If he wanted to get the supply box, he would definitely have to pass this level. The force of forceful attack is somewhat insufficient. This time Yi Fan did not ask Nana. It was useless to ask such tactical questions. He still had to find a way by himself. He tried hard to recall the situations of fighting zombies again and again, and judge the distance at which the gunfire attracted the zombies. I checked the map of Yida City. It is about 6 or 7 kilometers long and wide. If you shoot closer to the center, it should not attract the zombies outside the amusement park. But there are also a lot of zombies in the amusement park. At a rough look, there should be 4,000 to 5,000 of them. There are red dots everywhere. There is not a single survivor in this area. If I want to get the supply box, I may have less strength. At least I need more people and find a suitable gathering place to kill these zombies. Yi Fan looked around, and he discovered the situation in the other direction. There is a huge castle, the whole structure is made of sponge plastic, and there are hundreds of children and zombies inside the castle. In front of the castle, there were about 200 zombies, the vast majority of whom were women. Those female zombies should be mothers of children, bringing their children to play, and then they turn into zombies and still mainly stay there. Yi Fan's eyes lit up. The most important thing to kill zombies is to kill female zombies. Men basically cannot find jewelry. These 200 female zombies are all young mothers, they all love beauty, and almost all of them have something to offer. Kill these 200 zombies first, then I will have money in my hand. Once I have money, I can do whatever I want. But if you shoot, you must attract the attention of other zombies. You should first lead the zombie group led by the mutant zombie away a little. A tactic was already hatched in Yi Fan's mind, and he immediately gave Su Haoran a task. Don't worry, sir, I promise to complete the mission. Su Haoran turned around and left alone, leaving Yi Fan to lead the large army. Let's go over there. Yi Fan walked along the edge of the amusement park and gradually approached the big castle. Hunted down about 200 meters away from the big castle, and after waiting for a while, he heard an explosion in the distance. That was Su Haoran who detonated the grenade. The zombies in the distance moved in the direction of the grenade explosion, but the 200 female zombies on Yi Fan's side did not move because they were too far away. Seeing that the zombies had gone a little further, Yi Fan took action immediately and everyone got on the cover of a nearby carousel, which was less than 100 meters away from the big castle. Feeling safe, Yi Fan took out his .54 pistol and fired at the group of female zombies over there. The bullet didn't know where it hit, but it had reached its destination, and the group of zombies immediately roared and rushed towards them. At the beginning of September, the temperature was still quite high, and everyone was wearing very nice clothes. If this group of people were not zombies, they would still look like warblers. It's more terrifying now. They are basically a group of devils. Those who are timid are afraid of collapse immediately. However, this made no sense to the Red Alert soldiers. The zombies entered the shooting range and immediately opened fire. After all the stars were raised, the accuracy of the Red Alert soldiers increased dramatically, and zombies were constantly killed with headshots on the spot. After reaching the carousel at a distance of 100 meters, only half of the more than 200 zombies remained. Yi Fan was overjoyed. This proved that the strength of his troops had been greatly improved. Although there were only a dozen people, there were usually hundreds of zombies. The soldiers stood on the edge of the merry-go-round, raising their guns and shooting down. The zombies below were waving their arms in vain, but could not get to the top of the merry-go-round. They could only be killed one by one with headshots. In less than 10 minutes, more than 200 zombies were swept away, and a circle of corpses was piled up around the carousel. Go down quickly and collect supplies. The soldiers jumped down and started collecting jewelry from the zombies. Yi Fan took this opportunity to check the radar screen. This is the tactic he and Su Haoran formulated. First, let Su Haoran lure away the zombies on the other side of the Ferris wheel, and then shoot on his own side to attract the zombies on the other side of the Ferris wheel. Su Haoran took this opportunity to get the supply box, then reunited with himself and escaped from Yida City together. Now it seems that this tactic is going to be successful. The zombie group led by the mutated zombies over there vaguely hears the gunshots here and is coming slowly. Before seeing a person, the mutated zombie would not fly at such a fast speed, and he would not have time to escape. Sir, the supply box has been collected. Following Nana's prompt, Yi Fan saw that the green supply box on the map had indeed disappeared, and the white light spot representing Su Haoren was flying around the zombies. Great. As long as Su Haoren runs back here one step ahead of the zombies, this battle will be a complete victory. Yi Fan was a little proud of his tactics. This operation went very smoothly. Not only did he get a supply box, but he also definitely collected a lot of jewelry. Just when it was about to succeed, an accident happened. In the big castle over there, a child zombie tore open the castle's protective net and rushed out with hundreds of child zombies. Yi Fan took a closer look and saw that the leading child zombie was a head taller than the other children and had thick arms. He was actually in a mutated state and belonged to a quasi-armored zombie. It's just a small one. Oh my god, a child can mutate to this extent. Even if your small body mutates into iron armor, how powerful will it be? It is certainly not as strong as normal armored zombies, but it disrupted Yi Fan's plan. There were more child zombies inside than mothers outside. After all, some of the female zombies outside had gone far away, but all of these children were inside the castle. 400 to 500 of them appeared together, swarming over in dense numbers. Get back. Everyone get back to the top of the Trojan. At this time, the jewelry was almost collected, and all the red alert soldiers returned together and jumped onto the top of the carousel. Child zombies came in like a tide and surrounded the merry-go-round. And a large group of zombies led by the mutated zombies over there also saw Yi Fan's team at this time, and immediately sped up and roared towards them. At this time, Su Haoren had not returned yet, and was separated from Yi Fan's troops by the group of corpses. Yi Fan grabbed a large pile of jewelry that he had collected. At this moment, he actually wanted to see one of his subordinates panic, and then ask him what he should do so that he could show his style as a commander. It is a pity that each of these red alert soldiers is calmer than the last. There is no word fear in their consciousness, and death is not scary at all. This made Yi Fan a little depressed. Finally, he looked at Xiao Tian beside him and patted its head gently. Don't worry, everything is under my control, Commander. Woof. Xiao Tian shook his head, as if he didn't like having his head touched. Haha, this is not a pet dog, it is very courageous. Yi Fan retracted his hand in embarrassment.